X? Maybe they got a maybe they have a limit.
So that just about wraps it up for the crime syndicate.
I mean, the biggest issue with this, like we had a conversation off camera, but a short one, but still. Like the problem with this is like I'm a black person who understands that white people will want to call me the N-word, and I can't stop them from doing that. And at the same time, I don't really need to try to stop them from doing that. It really comes down to me, like if I'm going to accept that, like if I get offended by it, it means that a part of it's like when you call a fat person fat, a short person short, or if you call a short person a midget, or a midget a midget. Like if they get offended by it because something about that still bothers them, they care too much about your opinion of them. And in most cases, it's somebody they don't know, and that's my beef with the whole gender versus sex bullshit. Is like you're putting too much focus on what someone you probably don't even know thinks of you. You're not comfortable. You're not happy. You need to find that happiness outside, because you can't change. Like something my pops used to always tell me when younger me was definitely like would get offended by like words that people called me, and like something he used to always say was they talked about Jesus, and it's like, yeah, you got a point. Like that's you know, even if you don't believe in God, I mean, the person you respect the most has been made fun of at some point, whether in jest or in sincerely. Wow, it's even a little logo on the inside of his shirt, a Lego logo. It's like, and that's like the beef I have with the whole thing, is it's you're uncomfortable, you haven't found your happiness, so you need to change the world around you, and it won't matter.
I'm counting on it.
Because if I'm like, no, you're not a woman, then regardless of what your rule is, regardless of what like how you want to be called, doesn't really mean anything. You're gonna go to bed mad as fuck that I don't accept that you identify as a woman. That's a problem. Like, that's a problem. Like, motherfuckers will tell us we're not funny. That's okay, cool, judgment call. They don't find us funny. I think we're hilarious. And that's all of us. I think, like, Mark makes bad decisions, but he's still my bud. There are people who be like, I don't understand. Like, I don't care. Like, it's not relative to, like, how you view it is irrelevant to my life. And I don't know you, so I don't let your opinion of me alter how I feel at the end of the night. Like, I'm not gonna go to bed sad because you didn't like say something nice to me. Like, that's my beef. It's like you're asking the world around you to change because you don't know how to be happy. And you can blame that on your parents if you want. I don't necessarily know. I was like, you know, my folks could use some help. Most black folks' parents could use some help. Most of us, our parents, could have done a better job at like being more supportive as far as like being parents go. But I don't feel like it's like really all that relative.
Welcome to your party, Arsenal. I'll bring Donna Troy. Yeah.
That was it. That's all I really wanted. I didn't even want to say it, but like we've had this conversation. Like, so I was like,
but you felt compelled to say it. You truly did.
I did.
Because we weren't talking about it, and then you full ranted, and I'm just sitting here like, what's the point? Because at the end of the day, neither of our opinions are going to change.
And neither of them matter.
Think you're wrong. You think I'm wrong.
Really taking off, huh?
Like neither of the, like what they don't.
That's it.
Like neither of the opinions truly matter. Because like as far as I'm concerned, like I don't I know like one person who is a I know one person who is a yeah, I get that. Like what am I doing here?
Did you see that new reception bot at
Oh, there we go. I know one person who's transgender. And like when they told me like, "Oh yeah, I'm trans." I was like, I ain't gonna lie, my immediate response was ugh. Like just I find the whole idea of being trans, I find it interesting, but I don't find it like I find it like because it's one of those, I find it weird because there's so many things that a person can be unhappy with that they can't change. That just happens to be one of the few things you can. And like, yeah, change it. And you like do your thing, but it's the pressure to like for the world to now conform that I don't like, because there are things that are way more pressing that we should all come together on and accept that need to be worked on that are just, I mean, so much more important. That like these motherfuckers are like, no, that needs to take them. Like, we can't get people to accept that global warming is real. We couldn't. We couldn't get motherfuckers to understand that Donald Trump was terrible for the United States. We couldn't get people to put on fucking masks so that a deadly pandemic would slow the fuck down. So like the idea of like, I don't want a penis anymore. All right, cool. Who fucking cares? Like, and you have to call me Shirley now. No, I don't have to do anything. It's like, I don't think I've ever, I think it's also like, I've never like assumed that I could force someone to refer to me as anything specific.
I don't know why you're assuming that people are making demands of you.
They are. What do you mean? They are.
They're not. They're
But
not.
they are.
Asking you. They're simply asking you, hey, my name's Shirley now. Can you call me Shirley?
But if I say,
if you say no,
yeah,
then they fully have the right, because you're calling them out of their name, and then like they have the right to cut off all conversation with you, which
yes,
I'm sure, you don't care about.
Do that first.
About. You say you do. Yes, you don't care about, but it's still like.
What was that?
And if you changed your name,
For an elevator to jam.
We need to get out of here now.
bro, like you realize like that doesn't work for us.
it's just a situation that you haven't had to deal with. So of course you don't have the same sympathies.
Oh, god damn it! Who am I supposed to be here? Oh.
Exactly. That's what they deal with.
No, it's not the same thing. Like, I got it, but no, it's not the same thing. You know what? No, it is the same thing because they allow it to be the same thing. And I guess that's my beef. Is like, you haven't found, like, find your fucking happiness. And it's like, and I guess like the reason like the whole like the transgender or like the the identity swap thing like baffles me a bit is, what if that isn't enough? Then what? And like, I don't know if
what does that even mean?
it means that like you say that you feel like, no, I'm not comfortable, like this isn't the body I was supposed to have, or I'm not like in the right body. Okay, so let's say like if it's done and you still aren't comfortable in your skin, like you're still not happy with who you are, what next? What's the next, like what next is my question. Like, and I don't understand like how is it like a hard question to answer. Like, I mean, hard to answer, sure, but like you understand what I'm asking. What don't you understand?
Well, I feel like no one is truly happy in who they are. Everybody's gonna find some sort of flaw.
Yeah, of course, because people are broken. Like, that's the whole. I assume that's the whole bit with people is we ain't quite right. Like, we're still trying. Like, everyone is slowly trying to figure out who they are and what their place on the planet is. And even, you know, you're not, motherfuckers ain't gonna be here forever. Like, you ain't gonna be here that goddamn long. Like, regardless of like how long things like feel like it feels like it's taking forever. Like, life feels like it's a really long ride. It's, you know, in the grand scheme of things, it's kind of not. Like,
because there are some freaking tortoises on an island that are older than literally everybody on this planet.
Don't say that, because then white people will go try to find them.
They already know exactly where they are.
Ah, shit. See?
The Galapagos tortoises are 100 over. There are multiple tortoises that are over 100 years old, like 150. Same with sea turtles; they live forever too.
Not if we keep putting them goddamn plastics in the ocean.
Yeah.
Which again, kind of like that when I say like they're a bigger fish to fry, literally and metaphorically, they're bigger fish to fry.
They're a bigger fish to fry, yes, but there are not people in the government who are actively trying to take human rights away from
Great. More trouble dead ahead.
or animal rights away from tortoises.
Let's go.
There are literally people in the government who are actively right now to this day trying to strip these people of rights that they were born with. So that's the war.
And I still like it when it comes to shit like that. I realize this is where it's like difficult to understand my mentality on a lot of this. Like, no, I don't feel like y'all that motherfuckers shouldn't have rights. I just feel like when it comes to certain things, it's my
Well, you say they're a bigger fish to fry, but that's literally happening right now.
yeah, but
So
when
they go
yeah,
focus
but
on the bigger
and
fish.
and I am right.
Slips in there and steals their rights away while they
But
were trying to focus on your bigger fish.
But that's not. But that's the
So
thing.
which
That's
fight,
hold on.
should they take up?
If somebody is factually like, I'm not saying like if as in if, but I'm saying like if a motherfucker is like, I say there's bigger fish to fry, but somebody takes the time to focus on that, then they're not focusing. Like if I say that there are better things to worry about, that goes for all humans. That's not like that's kind of like the beef I have with like these conversations is like if I say like if we talk like like I don't know, it doesn't matter what it is. It's like the people who choose to like find like take offense to the stuff don't understand like it goes for everyone. If I say yeah, like I said, there are bigger fish to fry than like gay marriage. Like meaning like
Yes, it goes to everyone, but everybody's not going to be paying attention. There's still somebody that's gonna be there to try and take their rights away. That's you trying to control what everybody thinks or should be focusing on.
Yeah, but it's not about what I think though. It's about what's better for people as a whole. Like the amount of time it took, like it takes a lot to like the world we live in like is dying faster than it was maybe like 50 or 60 years ago. And people like the transgenders, the gays, the blacks, the Japanese, like all the people who live here, there are our descendants or their descendants or whoever the fuck are going to have to live in this in not a fucked up mentality of a world, but in a fucked up planet. Like it's gonna be on when I say it's on us, I mean it's on us. It's on us who still buy.
It's not fully on us. It's a lot on the generation before us.
Well, but we're now still a part of that.
Yeah.
Like we still
but this generation is trying to fix it way more than they were.
Yeah, and I'm not that and they got shit to do. As far as I'm concerned, they got shit to do with shit. Like it needs to be like the idea of trans people not having rights or whatever the fuck. Like no, as long as there's old white people in charge.
It's not an idea, it's a truth.
Motherfucker, you know what I'm saying? Like the idea, as in like the concept. Like the fact that black people don't still have to worry about being murdered when we just go to the fucking store by like cops or whatever the fuck. It's like as long as the wrong people are in charge, that's always going to be an issue. And there's no real way to stop that from happening. Like as far as I'm aware. Because in theory, when all the old white people eventually die and are no longer in power, then we should see change. But just like with racism, it's systematic and it's generational. Yeah. It's generational. Like the people who suck, who make living on like Earth quote unquote bad or whatever the fuck, like those motherfuckers are grooming other people to understand that this is the way that it needs to be, blah 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 blah. Where is life?
So like you know how the House of Representatives ended up flipping to Republican?
No.
Because they gerrymandered the seats. They effectively redistricted a lot of places that would lean Republican, and so they built in enough seats that they knew Republicans would win so that they could take back control of the House. And like that's one of the issues, because all social science, all polls and data show that younger voters are leaning blue more than ever. But the problem is because we vote
How do you not have
under
rockets?
under the electoral college system, they're still able to gerrymander districts so that they still win votes. And that's one of the biggest issues with, like, because what you said is true. As all of the old people die off, then everything should get better. But if they're still able to like redistrict and stuff like that, because that's one of those things that comes down to states. The national government doesn't really have anything to do with that. Like, if a state wants to stay red, then all of the people in charge of that state will make sure that that state stays red by moving districts. So, like, you have a point, but there are always workarounds.
Somebody here can blow stuff up, and I don't know which one of y'all it is. It's not you. It's not me. It's not Robin. It's not Cyborg. Who the fuck is it?
So back to what we were saying.
I'm just a firm believer of getting the fuck over it.
Our opinions are never going to change.
No, they don't have to, because you're gonna fucking die one day. And then, like, none of this will have ever mattered. Like, that's the shitty, like, and I guess that's why I don't feel the need. Like, I am with you.
As I was about to say, this whole rant was pointless.
Not pointless. It was content.
Moving on.
It was content.
I guess it was mostly you.
Yeah, I said it was content. I didn't say it was a back and forth.
Because I don't feel the need to have this conversation.
I didn't know that was a thing you could do. No, you didn't feel the need to have the conversation, but I did. Like, I have it like every like 2 months or so. Because it's
maybe
always
that's an inner problem you need to work out.
No, I wouldn't call it a problem. I mean,
So
some people
what
might,
was-
but that's their opinion, and they're allowed to have it. I ain't bugging.
Just dwelling.
No, I don't dwell. No, I don't dwell on it.
the-
When I say it comes back up, I mean it just.
I am leading you wherever I want to go.
Yeah. It's content. Like, I don't give a fuck. Like, that's kind of the point.
What was the last thing I told you? Do you remember?
Gerrymandering politicians always get their way.
No, about old dummy and dummette.
I still feel like I guess like I'm a problem for everyone. You're just a problem for the people you know.
What?
Because, like, did you not hear what you just referred to him as? Like, that's what I'm saying. Is
Here's the
like,
thing.
I'm a problem for
I feel like-
everybody.
I feel like that would be. Oh.
You get what I'm saying?
Because I don't just make wide sweeping. I will focus it.
Yeah. Like, I just,
Look,
I just.
Look, I have no issue calling him a dummy to his face.
That doesn't make it better.
It does. It means I'm not talking behind his back. He knows where I stand and how I feel. Because I mean, at one point, I did tell him that girl was a horrid, selfish individual.
I guess that's the difference between me and you. I would never say that to Mark. Mostly because I know he wouldn't give a shit. Which is why, like, if I met a trans person, again, I don't have any issues with trans or gays. Mark is gay as shit. So, you know. I would never say some shit like that to their faces. Yabrel.
I mean, I have full on called a trans friend a tranny to her face. So
I didn't know that was offensive, and I really don't have like the mental fortitude to like deal with the fact that that's offensive.
I mean, it is used in a negative context. So
Is it? Not where I'm from, it ain't.
I mean, where you're from is where I'm from, and
No,
we
no, no, no,
both
no, no, no,
know
no.
that-
That's not what I meant. I didn't meant
Well,
geographically.
either way, in Missouri.
No, 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 no. This ain't got nothing to do with. No, no. You're still thinking the wrong way. That's not what I'm talking about.
No, what are you talking about then?
I'm talking about like as far as like sex is concerned, it's just a nickname for like transgender people. That's it. Like it's just a nickname. It's like it. Like I have haver assumed that it was like, cause like in the same sense that like it's like tranny and ebony. Like if somebody referred to me as an ebony male, I would be like, that's a real weird way to say that's a long way to say black, but all right. Like yeah, like tranny is just like it's an identifier. It's like this is kind of the issue I'm having. Stop being offended by everything. Ebony and black, EBONYBLACK. Yep.
Nice. I think we can use this to get rid of
Yes,
those
it's not
spiders.
longer.
Not longer, but it's unnecessary.
It's a more exotic way of saying black.
Yeah, but I'm also not a woman.
Like
And-
that's what that is.
I'm not. Yeah,
Like, that's why that category is there.
yeah. I feel like that's only reserved for pretty black people, though.
Hurry and get to safety.
I could be wrong.
The light skins. What if they broke
No,
down
no, no.
ebony into categories? What?
Well, they do. There's like petite ebony, and then
Wouldn't stick around here if I was you.
like no, like ebony means like you're usually like you're. this is gonna sound bizarre. If you're ebony, you're usually visually black. Like you don't look like you don't look like a tanned white woman, but you're obviously a black person.
They grabbed the rookie.
Yeah. And I mean, they're not gonna put black as night, you know.
Depends on who uploads the video.
Batman.
Which I didn't know tranny. Like I still don't consider tranny to be offensive.
Guessing if Darkseid
I mean, anything's offensive if you say it with the right tone.
right?
Yes, and that's typically the right tone has been used for it to be considered offensive.
I've been around.
No, just think about where. Okay, now thinking geographically, think about where you are from and how that word would be used.
I don't think they would say tranny.
I wasn't
Incorrect.
intending on letting
I'm incorrect to think they wouldn't say tranny.
Pitiful creatures. You'll never
Yes.
catch me.
That doesn't make any.
Because they would. 'Cause they
I
would.
I don't think they would, you bro.
They would. I'm
You
telling
bro.
you. I've been there.
Okay.
We grew up in the same place.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I think they just say faggot.
Here, I'll go easy.
Which is also wrong.
It's offensive, but wrong is subjective. I don't think motherfuckers like know what tranny is if they ain't into that shit already. Like that's got to be something.
This one is getting flagged, and that's flagged with an L.
As opposed to okay,
Extra hard.
I got it.
You
I
You
got
would,
it.
yeah, you would.
worthless
Yeah.
effort will mean anything.
I-
Darkseid rules the universe.
I'm just aware that I'm aware of how things work around us. That's about
Isn't
it.
it ridiculous, this conversation that we're having, and
Not really. It's
still jokes left and right?
well, that's the thing. Like I'm not. How would I put this? I'm not racist. That's all I got. Like I'm not when I say I'm not like offended by a person's decision to like change their gender or whatever the fuck they want to call it. I don't give a fuck. I don't care if you're
Yes,
gay.
you're not offended. You're just upset because you think they're making demands.
When they
of-
make
of you.
when a
Like, they're
motherfucker
not.
makes demands, I don't care for that shit. Don't tell me
Back
what the
to
fuck to do.
what I was saying. What was the last thing I told you about Dummy and Dummett?
That they was still fucking. They were in a relationship, but they weren't calling it a relationship.
Put you out of your
Oh, like it's pretty much the same thing as those other new dummies.
see how you deal with my little.
Oh, you mean that motherfucker? Okay, hold on. We gotta stop the episode
Yes.
then. No, we'll see, Nick. You got too many dumbass white boys that hang out with you.
He's not white.
He wants to be.
He wishes.
And you know what? No. If they can be men and they can be women, he can be white. Fuck that shit. I support his desire to be as stupid as he wants to
Have
be.
Have you not seen that like internet or not the YouTube?
I've seen the internet.
No, shut up. The YouTuber who is like British and white, but has had enough surgeries so that now he identifies as Korean.
I don't know if I want to continue with this conversation. Like, I had no problems.
Bad.
I had no
It is
problems
bad.
telling people.
As a Korean person, I am offended.
Have-
Because that's what he thinks Korean people look like.
When I tell you, like, I don't have a problem telling people that there's only two genders, this sounds like territory that no one should walk into. Whenever he said what he said, everybody should just nodded and moved on. Don't acknowledge that shit, because in theory, if you get your penis cut off and you got a vagina shoved up your gooch, I guess in theory, if it walks like a duck and it queefs like a duck, but
That's what.
I love it. I love it. We gotta go though. We gotta leave. This is episode 17. It's over. It's done. If you're offended, you're allowed to be offended. I don't really care. Mostly, you know why I don't care?
I was the good one this time.
He wasn't the good one. He had a different opinion. My opinion itself was so stark and like harsh, not agreeing with me, which is like, in my opinion, that's virtue signaling at its best. Not being
Literally,
willing to.
all I had to do was say I do not agree, and I was on the winning side.
Yeah, that's it. That's virtue signaling at its finest. Everyone's afraid to just be like, yeah, I don't agree with that shit.
Virtue signal.
Hey, you know what? You might not have been, but I am a firm believer that if you're not even willing to have an opinion about something like this, it's like, well, you know, they say, like, no, I don't have. I feel like you just.
We do. I do have an opinion. You know, I have an opinion.
No.
Know
Yeah, your
that it's
opinion
pointless.
is your opinion
Speaking to
is
you
this.
about.
No, your opinion is the stuff they say. It's your opinion, but you agree with.
Now you're trying to make it sound like I've been fed these lines and
No.
I'm just part of the machine,
No,
which
see,
is definitely not true.
that's a problem, because that ain't what I said. What I'm saying
You
is,
said your opinion is what they say.
okay, let me rephrase that. I mean that in the sense
go
that
ahead.
if a white person says, like, you know, Black Lives Matter, they're just agreeing with us because they heard us out and they agree. That's what I'm saying. You agree with them. They are the ones who can tell people what they feel. You heard them out. You agreed with it. I'm not saying that you believe in the propaganda. I don't believe that there's propaganda. I believe there's real emotions. It's just emotions I don't fucking feel. Specifically, I go through similar things, and I don't have a choice but to go through said similar things. And I'm feeling like, well, motherfuckers, get in line, because this is what it feels like to be a minority. That was not what I was saying.
That's just one of those situations. It's just like, well, I had to struggle, so do you.
No, it was not. I had to struggle. Human life is a struggle as a whole. No one has. People have it easier than others, but everybody is struggling in some fashion. Whether it be
from these days off, I had planned to watch What We Do in the Shadows. I had planned to do lots of things, actually, and I've done none things.
You had a whole week off of work.
I have done none things.
How did you not? You had a week off of work. It's Sunday.
Yeah.
I'm just saying that this ain't my fault.
I truly did. I was like, yeah, week off. I'm gonna watch so many things. I'm gonna write some stuff. I'm gonna paint that room. None. I've done none.
The thing
One day, I was feeling fat, and I made bread pudding out of 4 pieces of bread. And yesterday, I made another bread pudding.
When you said I was feeling fat, I thought that just meant like you felt bloated and didn't want to do anything. I didn't think it meant that you made dessert out of. Man, damn. We gotta go. Like, people can. I feel more embarrassed that you said that out loud than other shit I said.
I'm quite proud of my bread pudding. It was like the best bread pudding I've ever made.
That's all well and good, but you shouldn't have told nobody you did. Because people, if anybody hears this and they don't know what bread pudding is, The image in their head makes you look like the fattest piece of shit
Well, look, it started as
with
French toast.
flour.
I was gonna make French toast, and I was like, I had the bread, and I was mixing up, the eggs and the cream, and I was just like, no, it needs to be more.
Yeah, you probably should have stopped talking like 5 minutes ago.
That was literally my thought. I was just like, it needs to be more. And I just had one of those you have the tools. If you build it, there will come moments.
Yeah, the paramedics will show up. Hopefully
If I
somebody.
make it to the phone in time.
Yeah, hopefully somebody notices that you ain't been moving. We gotta go. Bye. Get out.
And grains.
You're bread with seeds.
I don't like where this is going.
I am.
Heads up,
Crunchy.
Catwoman. You're fond of animals.
Let's start the next one, because I gotta get out of here.
No, we already started. Oh, what is it?
Oh.
No, we're talking about Edwin. I'm assuming.
Do not think
Yeah, so you don't remember the last thing I told you about the...
Yeah, the pregnancy,
Mm-mm.
the same.
the sexual assault charges.
Lure them back.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't go through with that, right?
Mm. According to him, now remember, everything from this point, because I don't live with him anymore, is all information that I get from his sister after she gets it from him. And according to her, all of it was very real. But he finally admitted to what I always said was the only part of the story that I truly believed, was that he screwed around with the dude's ex-fiance. Because apparently she was his ex-fiance. And that already is like bro code, dude. Because
Also,
like,
it's
how would
kinda
you
gross.
feel? Yeah, how would you feel if out of nowhere, friggin' Mark showed up in Georgia,
Have all the fun.
and
My minions.
now they got another extra person in the hotel room with them when they get kicked out of this house?
My response would be to enjoy the herpes, nigga. I can't get sued for that because no one said any names, and it's true.
Did you forget
So
against?
it's just like he made it seem as though this whole situation has been just a revenge plot, because apparently the dude ended up in jail because he beat up the fiance and he threatened to kill Edwin. That's why he ended up in jail before. And but Edwin was like, but we squashed it all. Like, why are you squashing things with people who threaten to kill you?
He's an idiot.
Especially if you have not changed as a person. Because
Well-
they must have had a reason to do it before.
Powerful.
Well, he clearly doesn't think there's anything wrong with him.
You merely represent the
Obviously.
insignificant human race. There is no.
So yeah, according to him, he thought they had squashed it, but the problem is, you may have squashed it, but then you went and reopened it when you went and opened her up. Like, and you thought it wasn't good. Like, seriously, dude. Like,
Why you?
do you see how incomprehensible this is? Because I can't even form words right now. Like, I'm still not getting it. I'm still not understanding it. Like, you thought you were just gonna go and screw around with your friend's ex-fiance and he wasn't gonna get mad about it?
Insult. I think I might be able to
So-
make a little backup of my own using these extra parts.
Again, he claimed that everything actually happened, but then he also admitted, yeah, he screwed around with the girl and they were all blackout drunk. So some things were probably definitely exaggerated. Soon after that, because he and his sister were having like lunch or pre-dinner or something at a bar, and he saw a girl that he'd been trying to talk to for a while, and he abandoned his sister in the middle of their day.
Dark side.
Literally left her
You don't just
to go and
have the
pursue this girl.
equation. You are
And
the
so
anti-life
she
equation.
ended up leaving wherever they were, and she came to my job to tell me all of this. And I was just like, "Are you surprised?" Like,
You know what?
Can't be surprised.
When it comes to family and friends, or loved ones in general, I think that people have a tendency to always
Seems I had a train
think
ticket.
Be
the
very
best.
blind.
Well, yeah, they seem to
Yeah.
always assume the best. They always like to think that, like, yeah, like it. Wow, I could have added this to the end of the other
Here's the
episode.
thing. Here's the thing. She is aware of how her brother is,
Mm-hmm.
but because they are almost exactly a year apart. Like her birthday, she's like a year and 2 weeks older than him. So they are very close. And they were the only two kids. So that's why she's always been there to bail him out. Until she had an inside man who was me. And I could tell her all of the different crap that was going on, and she's like, "What?" Like I've told you about the times when we've compared stories and heard just the two different versions that he told us of the exact same events.